Tuffelar with Eagle Point Roofing out here on a beautiful December day in Corvallis, Oregon, performing a roof inspection for Mita, who recently bought this house and is building a renovation over there. So I just want to go over three things in this video. I want to go over the lifespan and quality of the roofing material, the quality of the roofing installation, and the third thing I like to go over is an assessment of the total roofing system and any suggestions we may have. So the first thing I want to identify is the type of shingle on this roof. It's a 3-tab fiberglass shingle. And now that we know that, we'll use our shingle gauge here to see the lifespan of the shingle. So we gently slide that on there, and we can see that this is a 25-year shingle. Now, I'm not sure exactly how old the roof is. It appears to be in decent condition. There's some good granulation left on these shingles. But there is also some problems. The roof is sheeted. I went in the attic and checked that. It was originally skip sheeting. It's since been sheeted. Now, moving on to the quality of the installation. This is where we have some serious problems. Now, when you're putting on a 3-tab shingle, man, it is just a gorgeous day out here. All of these seams should be the same size, and they should all line up right in the middle of the other shingle. That's how you install a 3-tab shingle. You offset all the gaps 6 inches. Now you can see that there's a variety of gaps and sizes, and none of them are properly offset. Let's move over here. It's more apparent. See right here, we have about 4 inches, and what's gonna happen is, especially over time, as moss grows and lifts up this shingle, water is gonna penetrate this way, hit the nail head, and slowly leak into the attic, the insulation, and damage the plywood sheeting. And when I was down in the attic, I actually found a couple of nails with moisture on them from that exact problem. So the nails aren't exactly exposed, but they are getting water penetration this way due to the moss buildup here and just the age of the shingles. Another thing we can look at here is we have an exposed nail that was caulked. Looking at the condition of the pipe jacks, these are Odis. These are a good quality pipe jack, but like everything, it goes bad over time. You can see it's cracked here. Water's getting straight into the house. These flat areas of the roof appear to be in pretty good condition. Looks like they have a sort of tile on there. It's very interesting. Again, you can see cracking around this pipe jack. This can be easily fixed. You can see this is deteriorating quite quickly. Water's getting in there. And I actually noticed by that sheet of plywood, there's a little bit of moisture on it. More on the quality of installation. You can see, I'm not sure if they were familiar with the chalk line, but I don't think they were. Just look how much this roof waves. I mean, it's insane. This one dips down about a foot in the middle and comes back up. Same thing over here. You have, now I've seen roofers have one disappearing row up top like that before. That's not great. It shows that, yeah, you're a little new and you're learning, but it's not the worst thing in the world. This guy has 3 disappearing rows. I mean, that is just insane. You want your shingles to be uniform and straight and actually come out to reveal like this. So you can see full course. And at the top, sometimes you will get a partial course, but a straight partial course. Their valley raises. Now, what is gonna happen here, it's like I was talking about earlier, when the shingles are at this much of an angle, the water's actually gonna come in this drip groove and go this way towards the nail or towards a gap in the shingles. So you definitely don't want that. This is why we take the time to install our shingles correctly. Now, originally I was recommending that this customer get a vented ridge system and intake vent installed because it didn't look like there's adequate ventilation, and there's not. There's only 4 RVOs on a 3,000 square foot roof. You want one for about every 500 square feet, so there should be at least 6, more likely 8. 8 would be good. You know, we'd put 1 over there, 2, 3 right there, 3 right here, 2 right there, and 2 on that backside over there. But the attic actually did feel pretty well ventilated when I went into it. There was almost no heat buildup at the ridge, which is a really good sign. And there was no damage to the insulation. It all appeared to be in really good condition. Looking at this chimney flashing here, this is another common cause of leaks on roofs, is improperly installed flashing. They did a pretty darn good job installing this, I'll give them that. You can see that you could have a problem with water entering there, but it'd be pretty hard for it to travel uphill. Water generally goes down the pitch of the roof. Well, this nail's pulled out. It's old. That's fairly common as well. At least they made an effort to caulk all their nails. I'm not sure if this person was necessarily the best roofer, but they made a good effort, and the roof doesn't have any major problems. It's just not the most professional installation. These neoprene gasket screws, look at that. Look how well those have held up over the years. These are what I always use when I'm penetrating a roof, because you can just see none of these have pulled down. The actual gasket itself is still in really good condition. There's not even any cracks in it. It's amazing. You can see that 1 RVO there. But even with the condition of this chimney flashing, it's a galvanized steel. I'd recommend when redoing the roof that this all be replaced. Even the counters that appear to be in pretty good condition, these will wear out and rust in the next 15 to 20 years. And this roof's gonna last, if you get a new roof on here, it's gonna last 30 to 50 years. So why chance it? Why not do it right the first time? That's why I always recommend to my customers that we get new chimney flashings installed. It's a no-brainer. So, like I was saying, overall, this roofing system could use extra ventilation, new shingles, ice and water barrier in all the valleys, synthetic felt. Another recommendation, I'm guessing there's no metal on here. There usually isn't on roofs this old, so what we're gonna do is just kind of feel. There is actually, so that's good. There's this gutter apron metal down here. We will go ahead and replace that when we do the roof, but it's good to see that they have it on there. A lot of people just skip that step. Onto these flat areas, what I'd recommend for these is TPO membrane brought about 2 feet up under the shingles. Let's step on this here, see how it feels. Not too bad. And then a piece of drip edge here that's weldable. That TPO folds over it. It gets heat welded. You're gonna have no problems with that for 30 to 50 years. So overall, my recommendations would be to tear off this roof, replace maybe 1 or 2 sheets of plywood that look damaged from the attic, put a new gutter apron on there, get an ice and water shield in all the valleys. We also wrap that around all the penetrations just to be extra safe. Get new shingles on here, get starter shingles on here, get a new chimney flashing on here, and have this house protected for the next while. All right, well, I hope you all have a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, wherever you may be, and I hope you enjoy it with your family. Thank you. Merry Christmas. Hey, it's Albert with Eagle Point Roofing. Just wanted to give you a quick overview with a thermal camera of the roof. Initially, I thought this roof would need a vented ridge system and intake vents, as it didn't appear that there was much soffit ventilation, but Now that we're looking at it on the thermal camera, you can actually see that this ridge is staying really cool. 32 degrees right here. It's a cold day and this is in the shade, but kind of some telltale signs that the ventilation is good is that you have a lot of granules up on the ridge. When you get too much heat, the granules, the change in temperature causes the shingle to expand and contract, and you lose your granules quicker. Now down here, it is 36.8 degrees. Up here, it's actually cooler. You almost never see that as heat obviously rises. So I think the ventilation in this roof is fairly adequate. I could use, there's 2 RVOs right there where I was just measuring. Over here on this side of the house, you could use a little more ventilation. It could use a couple of extra RVOs cut in, but I see no major issues with the ventilation on this roofing system. It's actually in amazing condition. So I just wanted to give you a quick look with the thermal camera so you can see with your own eyes where the heat is. Thanks. Have a good one. Bye. Hello, I'm here at Mita's house on Buchanan Street in Corvallis, performing an inspection in an attic, and the homeowner stated that he didn't notice any areas of rot. Now, this is where, as a roofer, usually seeing it from the other side, we can help out a little bit and give you an idea of what's going on. So right here, I see a little bit of rotted wood, and when I push up against it, I feel moisture. And if I look down, there's a slight, it's kind of hard to see, but there's a slight brown spot in the insulation. Now, a very small amount of moisture is entering here, and eventually that's going to cause mold growth. Same thing right here. You can see the water coming through the roof if you look carefully. I don't know if you can see that, but there's water. There it is. That is water entering the house. So definitely not the best job on this roof. It appears like a patch was done over here. You can see where there's no longer nails, and they've switched over to staples. Right there as well. That's not too bad. We are now in the street-facing side of the house, facing Corvallis High School. Some delamination happening here, which tells me that moisture is getting in somewhere. Not too badly, but that may need to be addressed. Again, right here. Moist to the touch. This piece of wood most likely needs to be replaced.